let's get into the giant mailbag.
What crazy thing did Citi do this week?
It's time for Mattress running the numbers. Ready for the main event?
The main event.
Frequent Miler on the air starts now. Today's main event, Citi doubles your choice.
Double your pleasure, double your fun, double your choice points. Isn't that how the old ad went?
That is a very old ad. I remember that from like when I was a wee little Ute back in the day.
Double choice. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that was the more modern version. That was like in the 80s or something.
I mean, by now it should be like royalty free, right? Shouldn't Citi be able to kind of, commandeer that?
I think so. We'll go with your legal advice there for Citi. Why not? All right. Enough of that. We're going to get all into the ins and outs of Citi allowing double transfers from Citi thank you points to choice privilege points and all the good things about that, all the bad things about that. But first, of course, we have our giant mail. Last week, we talked about the JetBlue card and how there was an offer to earn top tier status.
There is an offer.
There is an offer. You're right. Thank you for changing my tense.
Recording anyway.
All right. So yes, there is an offer on the JetBlue card to earn their top tier and only tier elite status, Mosaic, with $15,000 credit card spend. And last week I said that when you earn Mosaic status, you get 15,000 bonus points. So spending $15,000 on the card is like getting at least 2x everywhere because of, the 15,000 at least you get from the spend and then the 15,000 from Mosaic.
I don't even know where this is going, but I'm going to say that I questioned whether or not that would work. Did I not?
You did. You questioned it. And on YouTube, Scott Humphrey says, you don't get the 15K bonus points for spending all the way to status. And so, of course, I looked that up just to double check. Not that I doubt you, Scott.
Double check.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Someone stop this, man. Here's the official rules in JetBlue's own terms. 15,000 bonus points are only awarded to members who qualify for Mosaic by earning 15,000 base flight points or 12,000 base flight points plus flying 30 segments on JetBlue, blah, blah, blah. Spending 15K is not in that list.
Okay. All right. So then, ladies and gentlemen, if you've learned anything this week, it's to double check, whatever it is.
He's still going with that.
So
luckily,
no double points.
Right. So luckily, I think it's time for What Crazy Thing, and we've got not a double header. Thankfully, we have a triple header.
A triple header? What?
Yeah. So what song do you have for that?
There's no triple header song.
No, I don't know. So we're safe from that. All right. No. What crazy thing did Amex do last week or a week before that?
Yeah. So lots of people know, but if you don't know, then Amex shut down a lot of accounts. They shut down a lot of people completely. And it was all people who had a common thread, we think anyway, of having applied for a card through a specific business card representative, an employee of Amex who helps people open credit cards with special offers. And so it seems that anybody who ever opened a card through this one rep has gotten all of their American Express accounts shut down.
Yeah. So I guess, I don't know the full details, but I guess some people were able to take some offers through him and turn them into many more offers than they should have been approved for, something along those lines, right? And so it makes sense that those people would get shut down. But we personally know people who signed up for one card a couple of years ago or whenever with this guy, and they got all their Amex cards shut down. So that's a mighty blow.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't seem like the punishment fits the crime there, in the sense that, like you said, there are now plenty of reputable reports of people we know well that had only opened one card.
Yeah,
and, done legitimate spend on it.
It's not like they did anything wrong in opening card. They went through a real business rep and just signed up.
An employee of American Express,
exactly.
Right? Somebody that works for the company that helped them open the card.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that sucks. That's
crazy.
All right. Let's move on to more fun stuff.
Brighter times. So then what crazy thing did
Cardless do this week?
Cardless.
So
What,
Cardless.
Wait,
So Cardless.
What's Cardless?
They're the company that's crazy every week just because of their name. Because what does Cardless do? They make credit cards, like physical credit cards, but they're called Cardless.
That makes sense. Right. Marketing
We've talked
genius
about that
on
before.
that one. Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's not what we're joking about right now. Last week, I guess, I have a Manchester United card from Cardless, and I got an email from them about paying my bill. And I'm going to quote.
That seems reasonable. That doesn't sound
reasonable.
crazy.
That's not crazy yet. I'm going to quote exactly. I wrote it down exactly part of this email. They said, "Don't forget your online payment for your Manchester United by Cardless card is due on December 31st, 1969.
That's how old you are, Greg.
Failure to make the minimum payment by the due date could result in negative reporting to the credit bureau." So I am in trouble.
That's an interesting. I like it. I like it, Cardless. You're going to toss them a little challenge here. You're not going to make it easy. Right? I mean, forget about those like 3 easy payments of $19.99. We're going to make it one really hard payment.
Right. Can you imagine if I had any like balance on there for it's almost 52 years that I'm late on this payment?
That's I mean the fees are going to add up on that, Greg.
Oh, boy.
I guess maybe that's their ruse. They could collect some fees.
That's how they make their money. Yeah.
So the easy payments, hard payment, by the way, that wasn't my line. I'm sure a few people recognize it. That's a comedian's line. But it fit. I think it's
very good. Very good. It's better than a commercial jingle.
It is. Hey.
All right. Let's move on to our third crazy thing. What crazy thing did
Amtrak do this week?
What did Amtrak do?
Well, Amtrak. I took Amtrak last night, the night before we're recording this.
That
so
is
this
crazy.
week I took. It is pretty crazy, right? I mean, I don't ever take Amtrak. There's just not a reason for me usually, but this time there was. It was $13 for a 5-hour trip. I thought that was a great deal.
Actually,
awesome.
I enjoy train travel, so it's not really crazy.
It's calm, it's quiet, it's spacious, not many people. Anyway, all right, that's not the crazy part. So I took the train, got there like 2 hours late. It got delayed. That stunk. I was starving. They didn't give any notice, by the way. They announced at 8:30 that the dining car was now closed with no prior notice, and we're not getting in for at least another hour and 15 minutes, like late, 2 hours late as it is. And I mean, come on. At that point, I was hungry. I would have liked to have known 5 minutes before you close. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. That's not the crazy thing.
Well, the dining car employees apparently had gone home.
Apparently, they were like, "No, you know what? We're done. We're not gonna be on this train another hour and a half. Forget that. Take my chances in the woods." All right. So I took the train, got to where I was going, and went to sleep for the night. Got up, flew somewhere today, and on one of my flights, when I was on the Wi-Fi, I got an email from Amtrak, and the email from Amtrak was to do a pre-trip COVID check to make sure that I'm not sick and I'm safe to travel on Amtrak yesterday. Not quite as crazy as 1969, Greg,
no,
but
right,
it does seem a little late to check and see if I'm feeling okay, right?
Right. I love it.
Sorry, other passengers. Yeah, no, I was fine. Thank goodness I was fine, but kind of crazy Amtrak. I don't know. Their emails are even farther behind schedule than the trains. Crazy.
Well, all the shared train tracks and stuff to get your email through can make it difficult.
It takes a while. Amtrak. I get it. All right. So I don't get it at all. Amtrak. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's move on to Mattress running the numbers. So Mattress running the numbers this week. I think we got something with Marriott, right? What's going on?
Yeah, it's not really a mattress running analysis this week. What we have is a deal, and what it is that there's an Amex offer widely available right now to get $50 back on $200 of Marriott spend.
Seems like a pretty good deal.
That's a great deal because if you spend exactly $200, you're getting 25% back. And so that's better than usual. Like Marriott offers aren't all that unusual, but usually they're at 20%. And so 25%.
Yeah. I mean, normally it'd be like 50 back on 250 or 40 back on 200. So 50 back on 200.
Do all the variations, Nick.
I mean, I could. Well, 20% is how it comes out. No magic there. Double 10%.
Right.
That's double.
Another
Double
nice
it up.
thing about it this time is that at least I'm seeing it on all of the Marriott cards in my household, and
That's
often
nice.
it appears more on the other cards and not on the Marriott cards. So that's great because if your spend is at a Marriott, you're getting the Marriott 6x, with your Marriott card, and also getting the $50 back. So
Before we talk about spending in the Marriott, let me just ask another
yeah,
question that I'm sure somebody is thinking right now. What happens if you have this Amex offer on the Brilliant card that gives you $300 back at properties? Like, do they stack?
they should. They should.
Okay.
I believe they will.
Okay.
Yeah, there's always some question of whether they might like try to claw back part of that rebate.
Yeah.
I don't think that would happen in this case, but
I haven't heard of it happening.
yeah,
There's been enough times
I'm
now.
pretty sure I've done this before, and I haven't
Yeah.
seen any clawbacks. But
All right.
anyways,
But anyway, that's not why it's on Mattress Running. It's on Mattress Running the numbers because it's a pretty good deal, 25% back. That's about as good as it gets.
and we really just wanted to remind people of a little trick. I mean, it's pretty widely known, but not everybody knows it, which is basically there are some Marriott hotels, some Marriott hotels that sell Marriott gift cards. And if you buy the gift card at the front desk, it all codes correctly so that it would trigger the Amex offer. Of course, you have to pay with the Amex card where you registered the offer to, but the point is, it's not unusual for me to, load up like 3 Amex cards, one on my account, one on my wife's, one on my son's, and go to a Marriott hotel that sells gift cards and say I want $600 worth of gift cards and pay $200 on each. Get, in this case, 25% back, which is a great deal.
Yeah, $150 back. I mean, that's basically like, for a free night somewhere, probably. So that's a great deal. And Greg mentioned, he corrected himself, from a lot of properties. He said some properties sell gift cards, but you should take it a step farther. Some properties sell gift cards, and some employees at some properties that sell gift cards know how to sell the gift cards. So
true story.
Because we've definitely run into more than one before who was like, okay, I know we sell them, but I don't know where they are. And then when they find them, they're like, okay, I don't know how to load it. And so
no, last time I was at a Marriott where I asked to buy gift cards, I knew they did sell them. 2 different employees on 2 different days tried to help me to buy them, and ended up I had to wait till the 3rd day when the manager was there who could figure out how to actually do it. So,
it makes that
always
really complex somehow. It seems
right.
Gift cards really seem to kick their butts, whether it's buying them or redeeming them. It doesn't matter. So if you go to redeem them, by the way, if you haven't redeemed Marriott gift cards before, you need to give them a heads up. Like, you got to tell them before,
good tip.
Don't bring it to checkout like you're trying to get to your flight and you're looking to just pay with your gift card and swipe, and it's going to come off the gift card, because the way gift cards work in 2021, because it doesn't seem to be that way at Marriott. You got to give them like an hour, 2 hours, half a day to figure it out.
Yeah, it doesn't always take that long, but yeah, it's a good it's a good idea. Just to be sure.
You don't want to cut it too close. You don't want to cut it too close. You don't want to be in a hurry. Give them your gift card. So,
exactly.
But yeah, at buying it, you just go to the front desk and ask, and if they have them, and it doesn't matter if you get a Courtyard one, you can use that at like a St. Regis or whatever else. Doesn't matter what it's branded on the card. So wherever you find one, but don't go out driving around. Call them first and just ask.
Yeah, exactly.
Worth driving.
Right. And then hopefully once you find one in your town that sells, or near your town that sells them, hopefully you can become a regular as these things pop up, assuming you have enough Marriott spend to make it worthwhile. Okay.
All right. So then I think that brings us to a double. I know I won't even do it.
No.
I won't even do it. No. I'll stop.
It is time for the main event.
Right.
The main event. Citi doubles your choice. Okay. So, Citi, we've said many times that unlike other transferable points currencies, Citi thank you points have no hotel partners. You can't transfer Citi to any hotel programs.
You couldn't. It was true. It was true for a very long time.
We used to be telling the truth when we said that.
You were.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Citi can transfer to choice privileges, which in itself we would be
lukewarm,
unenthusiastic.
Lukewarm.
Yeah, lukewarm. I mean, having transfer options is always better than nothing, but since there's a way to indirectly buy choice points for 0.8 of a cent each, if when you transfer transferable points 1-to-1 to Choice, it doesn't feel like a good deal. It feels like you're getting less than a penny per point value, even if you're redeeming those points for better than that value, because you could have bought them, with cash for that little. But now we've got this 1-to-2 thing. So that whole worrying about, oh, it's cheaper to buy goes out the window, because you'd have to pay 1.6 cents per 2 Choice points basically to do the same. That's a good value for Citi points. And when I last looked at the value of Choice points in the US, just looking at like averages, not trying to cherry pick good value awards or anything, I found that points were worth about 0.7 of a cent each. But that means that thank you points, when used for Choice, are going to average about 1.4, which is pretty good.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not. It doesn't make me wildly crazy and excited, but it certainly is a lot better than redeeming your points for 1 cent each, or for gift cards or something like that. Again, 1 cent each, right, or sometimes even less, depending on type of redemption you do. So, I mean, it's a solid, not bad redemption at 1.4 cents.
At 1.4,
at the average value.
But let me get you more excited about this.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So first of all, Choice doesn't have an award chart, but I was poking around all kinds of like properties all over, and things like New York City on New Year's Eve. And it seems like for the regular types of properties, 30,000 points is their max. Seems like, as far as I was finding.
That sounds about right. That's about the most I think I've ever seen them.
Yeah. And that includes their like higher end Ascend collection and their, I don't know what else, but, so, that means that if you think of it as like the Citi, from the Citi thank you point of view, you're topping out at 15,000 points. That's dirt cheap to book any hotel, pretty much. I'm gonna explain the pretty much part later, but almost any hotel in the Choice collection, only 15,000 points a night. How can you not be excited about that?
Because they're Choice hotels. I mean, it's if it's a nice place, fine. But and Choice, like I stayed at lots of Choice properties for years, so I'm not against a Comfort Inn or a Clarion or whatever. I don't get that excited about it. I mean, if I'm going to take 15,000 Citi points that I could transfer to Turkish Miles and Smiles, and spend hours trying to book a round trip ticket to Hawaii, I would rather have the round trip ticket to Hawaii probably than a night in the local Comfort Inn, right?
Well, all right. So, but they have their Ascend collection. They've got those boutique things. There was that one in California you did. There's
that was nice. The Hotel Napa or something. Napa Valley.
The nice Peacock Inn I did in Princeton, New Jersey. I looked that up today. Now, here's the other thing to get excited about. Choice, when rooms are available at their regular properties for points, they don't seem to care which room you get for that many points. So if the hotel costs 30,000 points per night, they're going to charge you that much for a, queen room in the corner with no view. And they're going to charge you that much for the king suite with the view and everything. And so there are times where that can create amazing value. The 0.7 I mentioned before, 0.7 of a cent value, that was based on the idea of like the alternative would be booking the cheapest room in the hotel. But in reality, you're going to pick whatever the nicest room available is, right? So sure. I looked at the Peacock Inn for a random date, and I saw that one of the rooms that was listed there, they call it the penthouse suite. Same price as any other room.
Yeah, that's crazy. Is that a rule? Like, is that a set rule everywhere in Choice? Because I don't know. Feel like I've seen situations, I think, where they weren't all available, but I've definitely seen situations where all the rooms were. Like that Hotel Napa Valley that I stayed at. Also, we booked the 2-bedroom suite for the same price as a regular room. So same kind of thing. It was just like, but what? It's the same. It was 12,000 points at the time. I think it's more now. But so yeah, I mean, Choice does have some oddities like that. They have some nice properties now and then. Then they have the Cambria Hotel in Boston that I stayed at last night. That was fine.
Fine. Yeah.
I'm just glad that nobody's drug testing me today, because I'm not sure that I would pass the way that the scent was just going through the hotel. Oh my goodness. It was
so a little perk they didn't even advertise for you.
Right. They did not advertise that one. So I mean, but
wait, there's more. There's
okay.
more.
All right.
There's more. So
okay.
Blue Green Vacation Rentals. So if you prefer to stay in like nice condos and in sort of like resorty type areas, they have these, those vacation club type of things where they try to sell people on the timeshares, but when they have excess inventory that the timeshare people aren't staying in, they rent these out through Choice, and you could either pay cash or you can book these things for, at most, as far as I could tell, 30,000 points per night. This includes like 3-bedroom apartments. I mean,
no, that's pretty nice. That's pretty, and I've heard good
really
things.
Nice
I've heard good things about Blue Green Vacations. Some people that have stayed there, I feel like they have some fans in the points blogosphere. People who say, "Oh, don't talk about it because it's a well-kept secret." But that does sound appealing.
I mean, think about this: if you could find a 3-bedroom apartment in a place you want to be for 30,000 points a night, that's 15,000 points per night of 15,000 thank you points per night. 5,000 points per bedroom.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a heck of a deal.
It does sound good. I don't know. Did you look at the cash rates? Is it a good deal though? I mean, is it just a lot of space, or is it a good deal compared to what these things actually cost?
Yeah, I mean, so the cash rates I've been seeing when I've been like poking around some of the nicer looking things tend to be, you're getting over 1 cent per choice point value. That means over 2 cents,
2 cents.
Value with your thank you points. Sometimes one extreme thing I saw was about 2 cents per choice point value. So you're looking at about 4 cents, thank you point value. So there are some of those extraordinary values out there. For those who know the choice program, you're probably yelling at your speaker right now saying, but there's all these problems. Yeah, we're going to get to that. But first, I'm going through the good stuff.
We haven't gotten to the bad stuff yet.
I'm trying to... So it's all good. It's all good for the first half of the show.
I mean, that is pretty good. So you got some of your nicer properties, your Sun Collection, Cambria, stuff like that, and free hot breakfast. I think at all of the, I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure a hot breakfast at all of the properties, at least it used to be that way. I don't know. It was like, back when double your pleasure, double your fun, double make dumb was around. It was that's when it was like free breakfast. So I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
I don't know if that's true or not. I can't remember if I got free breakfast in Princeton, but
all right. Anyway, all right. So you got Blue Green Vacation. Oh, there's more. All right.
Yeah, I'm not done.
Talk to me.
Choice has a partnership with Preferred Hotels and Resorts. Preferred Hotels and Resorts are some seriously nice properties. I'm not talking about like Princeton boutique nice, although there are those that level. I'm talking about like the types of hotels that show up in the best hotels in the world lists, the really seriously nice ones. But not all Preferred Hotels are available through Choice. There's little more than half of the preferred hotels in the world are available through Choice to book with points. Of those, I will admit, some of the nicest of the nicest that I found out there were not available through Choice, but there's still some great ones. Like, I don't know if you know the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs, if you've heard of that, but that's a sort of a well-known resort that is available, to book with Choice points. And so there's some seriously nice places. They max out the point price at 55,000 points per night, which before when Choice points couldn't be gotten as easily as now with Citi, 55,000 seemed kind of steep to me. Like, so I didn't like, because if you'd look at it, if you'd say, oh, well, the property costs $500 a night, or I could spend 55,000 Choice points. I'm getting a little bit less than 1 cent per point value, so that's not that great. But now you're looking at getting almost 2 cents per point thank you point value, and suddenly it's really good, and you get to stay in some really luxurious places. So I find that really exciting, actually. All right, then there's also this I'm a little less excited about. There's all inclusives as well, and they have a bunch of all inclusive properties. Those appear to go up to 100,000 points per night, though, from what I was just looking at.
100,000.
Yeah, so there, I'm not seeing value in that. When I looked at the point prices versus the cash prices, it was like even with starting with Citi, didn't look that good. And the few examples I found, it was hard to find examples though, because most places are sold out in the near future, which gets us, I think, to some of the cons.
Right. I mean, it's, I don't mind choice. I like having it as a backup because like last night I stayed at a choice property in Boston because the Hyatt that I really wanted just wasn't available for a standard room. And I had some Marriott free night certificates, but I was like, you know what? It doesn't really matter where I stay tonight. And I got these choice points that I bought real cheap in daily getaways for half a cent each. Oh, this camper has 20,000 points. It's like $100 worth of points. Okay, that's better than wasting a free night certificate. So I'll hang on to the free night certificate, hopefully for a slightly better use. So I usually look at them as a backup program to book something at the last minute, like when I haven't decided, when I'm sitting at the train station waiting for my delayed train and trying to decide where am I going to sleep tonight because I have a flight tomorrow. So that's when I typically like to use them. And it's not just because I like to use them that way. It's because that's kind of the way they're the most useful, right? Because you can't use them too far in advance.
You can't use them to book most of their hotels more than 100 days in advance. I said most of because some of the preferred hotels through that partnership are bookable more than 100 days out. But even those, most of them are not bookable more than 100 days out. So it's a very strange situation. But that's
like 3 months. You can book like 3 months in advance.
And I think that the biggest downside of that to me is with the Blue Green vacation rentals, because it's hard to find availability on those. And especially if you're wanting to book at a holiday time or some other very popular time, people who are booking with cash or who have timeshare thingies will book up those places a year in advance,
right?
And you're stuck. So it really is just like you have to get lucky, I think, to find that opportunity. I find that really, really unfortunate because I think that would be such a nice way to spend your thank you points is with Blue Green Vacations if the location matches where you want to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to either be lucky or highly flexible, right? Where you're not like, okay, I definitely want to stay here at this time of year. It's more like, well, I can take off a week whenever, and look, 3 weeks from now, there's something that's available and I haven't been there before. Okay, why not? You'd have to probably do it that way with Blue Green, I would imagine, because otherwise, like you said, any place that's popular is going to be booked up more than 3 months in advance. So, so that's a definite downside. Now, I don't typically find that to be a huge deal with hotels. Obviously, if you want to be able to book a year in advance, it's an issue. But I don't typically find that it's that tough to find a hotel room 3 months in advance, and because Choice often does make all of those various room types available, you just need the place to not be sold out. So, as long as you're not going for the Super Bowl or something crazy like that,
agree.
I feel like you can usually find
agree for the regular hotels. That's true. Another thing I found when poking around the all inclusives is they don't seem to have that rule about any room is available. So I found plenty of examples where there were rooms available for cash, but nothing available for points, which tells me they are definitely limiting it more like other hotel chains do. It's not like, it's not really a slam against Choice in that case, but it does make it really hard with that 100-day thing. Yeah.
That makes it harder. Yeah.
So because someone messaged me earlier today about hoping that a certain property would become available and, later because they're wanting to book in May, and there's nothing they could do till 100 days out. And that's really unfortunate.
Book someplace else. You book someplace else and hope that that has a cancellation policy you can live with, and hope that this place opens up. And that's I often am booking backups. So that's something that if you don't usually do or you aren't used to doing, then that's something that is another tool to put in your belt. That okay, I'm going to book 2 or 3 places, and then you have to keep track of it, I guess, and make sure you remember to cancel whatever you have to cancel. But that way you can continue to look for availability.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a great thing to do, and something I would do too when I do whenever I have those kind of unsure situations. So one last, I guess, negative is that these preferred hotels that I'm really pumped about having access to at reasonable rates, they're not the easiest thing in the world to book.
You just made that sound much easier than it sounded in the messages you typed in the moments after getting off the phone. I'm just going to say that it seemed like it was not that painless.
Booking a preferred hotel through choice with choice points was one of the most painful times in my life.
See, and you complained about emailing Turkish Miles and
Smiles. Oh,
right?
man, I spent hours on the phone, and is this on? Is this thing on?
Yeah.
Okay. I suddenly had what I thought was a microphone issue, but it sounds like we're still going. I spent hours on the phone trying to, get these people to agree, first of all, that there was such a thing as booking a preferred hotel with choice points. The guy who was telling me, you can't book that. I'm gonna transfer you to Expedia. And I was just like, no.
Oh, they hired that guy from Turkish Miles and Smiles. I think that was a hire away. Headhunter found that guy. They're like, oh, we got a place for you over here at Choice. Expedia, what?
Yeah, and that guy would not transfer me to his supervisor, no matter what I said. I don't know if he gets demerits, if he does float someone up to the supervisor, something bad obviously happens to the first line people if they transfer you, because he would not do it no matter what. The next guy was very, very nice. Not that, the first guy, I guess, seemed nice. It's just didn't seem so nice when he wanted to transfer me to his supervisor. Second guy was very nice. He had actually heard of this partnership and everything.
That's encouraging.
But no matter how hard he tried, he could not get his computer to do anything useful about it. At one point, he sent me a link. He was like, I got it. He sent me a link like through email. He said, click this and you'll be able to book it yourself. And I was really excited. I was like, oh my God, I found, I got a magic way in, and this will be how we'll book them in the future. It was a link to the site that shows you the point prices. The
nice,
same one that I used in the first place. To know
the reason you knew there was a partnership, because it's on there. It's on,
that's right.
It's on the site. Right? That's why I'm calling you, because it's there and it says to call you. Can't do it myself. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really hard. When you're 2 hours in and wishing you're booking a Turkish award on United instead, that it's really, really hard.
Yeah, no. So is that worth it then? Is that exciting? If you can't really book it, it's going to take you hours on the phone.
Yeah. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think that my post about it, I think that the value you get now, you only need 27,500 Citi points for the most expensive of these properties per night. That's an incredible deal. I think a lot of people are going to start doing this, and I think more and more reps will, through the process, learn how to handle it. So I'm predicting that in a couple months, it's not going to be so painful. We will see.
Hopefully that's true. It certainly may well be true. So we can hope for the best on that. I think I still need to look
Turkish,
at this.
Isn't that what happened with Turkish?
Yeah, right. Much easier. They were like, I got too easy. That's the problem. They were like, oh no, guys, take that button off.
Take away the button.
We don't want to book it online. You crazy? Take that button out of there. So yeah. So hopefully it doesn't go the way of Turkish Miles and Smiles.
Right.
Choice, if you're listening, we were joking about the Turkish thing. It's not a suggestion. It's a joke. Okay. Not a suggestion. Yes. All right. So preferred hotels could be good, going to be a pain. So you got to, get yourself ready, get yourself in that mental space to get on the phone and spend a couple of hours trying to book something and being told, unreasonable, nonsensical answers like, I'm going to transfer you to Expedia to book your award with your choice points.
Right. I guess the optimist in me says, well, maybe this value will last longer because it's so hard to do.
Right.
So if you got to really want it,
Yeah, it sounds like you do. I think that the thing that I'm mentally struggling with, and this is probably my own silliness, but is the Turkish thing though. Because you're talking about 27,500 city points, like great deal. And I get why, because Hyatt properties tap out at like 25, 30,000 for the most part. And I don't blink at paying 25,000 Hyatt points per night for a nice Hyatt. But I'm struggling to think about transferring almost enough for 2 round trip tickets anywhere in the US for one single night at a preferred. I mean, you're gonna have to write me a really good review of your fantastic preferred hotel stay for me to want to give that up. I think that those thank you points for that.
Yeah, see, I don't get that, because that sort of assumes that it's like a zero sum game where like, or it sort of assumes that if you don't spend it on hotels, you're gonna really spend all of your thank you points on United flights booked with Turkish. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've got many hundreds of thousands of thank you points. I know that's not typical for our listenership, but in my case, like, how many flights could I go on before it became a problem that I booked a few nights with my thank you points?
All right. Yeah, I mean that's true. And if you're flushed with lots and lots of thank you points, then yeah, that makes sense that we wouldn't value them the same way. But it's also the issue that you don't really value Star Alliance flights all that much because you live in a Delta hub, and so you're always looking for the nonstops to Europe and that kind of thing. Whereas I do value Star Alliance flights a lot more, because typically if I'm flying international, I fly to New York. And so I look at it and I'm like, 45,000 points for a business class ticket to Europe, 49 to the Middle East. And so like every 2 nights, I'm looking at like a valuable number of points. Now, of course, I say that. And like I said, I don't think about that so hard with Hyatt. I don't know why. I guess maybe because Hyatt, the ancillary benefits are also really good. I mean, do you get anything at preferred hotels? Do you get free breakfast or parking or any benefits? Is there any like elite
not that
status?
I'm aware of. I mean, I think a lot of them probably do offer breakfast to, but it's just going to depend on whatever the hotel does as their standard thing. Yeah.
So I'm curious. We'll have to see. We'll have to see which properties come up and what great values people find. I'm excited to hear what readers find here and the properties that they review as they start to book something. So I'm sure that my hesitation here is me, but I'm sure there are a lot of readers that are in your shoes actually, with lots of thank you points. They're like, oh, awesome. This is something pretty good to do with thank you points.
Right. Well, there's also, I think there's a lot of people who have thank you points who their travel style is such that they'd rather use points for lodging, and certainly not the preferred hotels part of this, but the other stuff where you can maybe book like a suite for the same amount of points, or you could book multiple bedrooms.
Makes sense.
For families traveling, I think that's huge.
No, it is, and I value a suite, so I can hear that. That makes some sense to me. And also hotel points in general are hard to collect in quantities that are meaningful, or with good multipliers. And so here you look at the Premier getting 3 points per dollar at the grocery store, restaurants and gas and stuff like that. And it's like 6 choice points per dollar. That's not bad. So that's pretty good, I guess. I struggle also though a little bit with the fact, like you were talking before about redeeming for, your choice points, using them and getting like 1 or 2 cents per choice point in value, except you're not really getting 1 or 2 cents in value, right? Because you're getting 0.8 of a cent per choice point, no matter what, because you could buy them at that price, right? So even if it doesn't matter what you redeem them for, because you could have bought them for 0.8 of a cent a piece, right?
Yeah. Wow. I feel like you're mixing up a couple things there.
Well, so here's an example I gave somebody else recently, something totally different. I said, so if a hotel costs $1,700, this hotel stay you want to stay, or it costs 100,000 points, right? Or you can buy the points for $800, right? If you were starting at 0, right? You had no points, whatever else. How much are you going to pay for the hotel? You're not going to pay $1,700. You can buy $800 worth of points, right? I mean, so it's not, you're not getting $1,700 in value. I mean, you're getting $800.
Sure.
In value,
I mean, it's a
right?
little more complicated because you have to start with some points in order to do the trick to buy them at 8 cents. But
So
still,
there's
even given your thing,
there.
I mean, sure, you could say that the value of the thank you points is capped at 1.6 based on that logic,
which is not bad.
But I mean,
it's not bad.
Then you should be, I guess, arguing similar things when like if you're talking about a great deal with Life Miles, because Life Miles is so often,
That's true.
purchasable at very low rates.
Yeah.
So,
It does kind of cap it out, and I struggle sometimes with the idea of should I transfer to Life Miles, and I have transferred to Life Miles, but I always feel a little bad about it because I'm like, I could buy those pretty cheaply. So do I really want to like redeem my points for that kind of value? I do think about it when I do it anyway, and so I struggle with getting caught in that trap where I say those preferred hotels aren't worth $550. Those are $275 a night hotels because you could buy, well, not 275. I'm sorry. I was doing that based on half. So I should have been doing it based on,
right. It's more like
for
something,
whatever, which is pretty nice, I guess. So that's still not a bad deal, I guess, for your 27,500 points, especially if they are nice places. But I struggle a little bit though with not wanting to overvalue because you can buy the points. So when
but even if we go with your thing of it's capped at 0.8, I mean, that means the Citi points are capped at 1.6, which is, I think, a very good value to redeem your points at.
It is.
I'm happy to do that.
It is. So I'm looking forward to all of the future bottom line reviews of all of the choice properties you're going to stay at, because I know there's not going to be any more Hyatts in your future, no more Marriotts, because you're going to get such great value with your thank you points.
We'll see. I mean, there's a difference between me being excited about preferred hotels and actually ending up at many of them. I do have this one booking, which I really, really, really hope that I'm going to actually be able to stay there, because if I have to call 12 people in order to change it or cancel it,
good luck changing or canceling it. Oh yeah,
I do not want to do that. I think I'd rather call Turkish and see if they could cancel it for me.
I mean, you might have about as good luck. You never know. They probably are about as likely to be able to do that as they are to book a United flight for you. That's for sure. So. All right. So this is, I as much as I'm talking down and I'm trying to provide a little bit of, devil's advocate here, but I think overall this is good. And the nice thing is that even for those like roadside hotels where you need a night when you're driving somewhere, this is great, right? Because you're going to probably pay no more than 20,000 choice points for a night like that. So you're
City many points. Of them are 10 or 12,000, which is like, like no City points.
Right.
Like 5 or 6,000.
How long did the transfer take, though?
It was instant from Citi. Yeah.
There you go. So perfect. So then, that's nice too, because then if you need something right now, which is probably the case since you can't book more than 100 days in advance, then you can do that.
That's right. It's good that it doesn't take 100 days to transfer.
Right. That would be a bit of a bummer. So, do you think that this will encourage choice? Do you think choice? There's any chance that choice will change that at some point here?
The 100-day thing.
The 100-day thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, what would be their motivation? Why would this encourage them to do that? I don't know.
Are they going to be happy that people are suddenly redeeming lots of choice points or buying lots of choice points effectively? Because obviously Citi's paying them something for the points, maybe, right? So they be happy and be like, you know what, we can make a lot of money selling points to Citi. Maybe we should make this a little bit easier to book. You listening, choice?
My guess is that the 100-day thing is actually something that they tell the hotel owners that is a good thing, right? That you're not going to lose any sales until it's getting closer to the time of stay. And that's when you're going to be worried about filling up the rooms anyway.
Speaking of that and the hotel owners and stuff, by the way, we always talk about this with choice, but if you're new to choice and haven't paid attention to it before, great value for choice points in Scandinavia. So that's something we've always talked about, but if you didn't know that, you should, because a lot of properties, first of all, Scandinavia can be very expensive to visit. Hotels are ridiculous. And so you can get good value for choice points, period, just for the cost of the room. But then there's also a number of those Nordic choice properties that offer free breakfast and free dinner, which again, in Scandinavia can be a big money saver. So
and didn't you say most of those are 16,000 points a night?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of them.
8,000 Citi points per night.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Stay in Scandinavia and get all your meals. Are you kidding me?
Right.
That's amazing.
Right. True. It is. Even though you could buy them for 8/10 of a cent, it's true. It's true.
Still amazing. Okay.
Okay. All right. So then I think that brings us mostly to the end of
that's the end of the main event
choice points. Okay. All right. So then, do you have a post roast lined up?
I didn't do my homework. All right.
Okay, no post roast this week, but I do have a question of the week. So question of the week was intriguing to me. So JW sent this one in a few days ago via email and said, "Hi, I've been wondering this for a while. Why do you and Greg think spending $15,000 on the Hyatt card is a no-brainer? I understand the benefits of 15,000 spent on the Hyatt card. It'll give you an expiring free night Hyatt certificate up to category 4 worth up to 15,000 points, another 15,000 points from the spend, and some elite night credits. He actually did the math wrong. It should be 6 elite night credits. Anything else I'm missing? Is it not better to buy $15,000 worth of fee-free Visa gift cards at Staples or OfficeMax with a Chase Ink card, yielding 5 points per dollar? Doing so will yield you 75,000 non-expiring Chase points. When transferred to Hyatt, that's worth 5 category 4 nights and 5 elite night credits when you stay, versus the Hyatt card giving you maybe 6 elite nights and just the 2 free nights that you get out of that. Additionally, if you like to use some or all of the 75,000 points from the Staples spend at a Hyatt category 1, you could get up to 15 stays and 15 elite night credits. No doubt you and Greg have thought of this alternative. Is my premise that you both consider the 15K spend on the Hyatt card a no-brainer just wrong? It seems to me that spend on a Chase Ink card for Staples gift cards usable anywhere is more rewarding and more flexible. What am I missing? Thank you for enlightening me. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything JW said. I mean, if you have the inclination, the ability to liquidate all those gift cards, you're close enough to a office supply, the office supply stores that sell the gift cards when there's those free deals, and you have a Chase Ink card, all those things line up, and you have to pick which way you're going to go with your $15,000 spend. Then yeah, obviously that's a way better way to do it. I don't know. I don't know that I ever called it a no-brainer, but maybe I haven't in context of a conversation. A lot of people.
I remember it came up at some point that we said it was a no-brainer, but I mean, I thought JW's point was fair. It's not. I mean, I feel like a lot of people that have the Hyatt card do consider it a no-brainer to spend the 15K and get the free night certificate, but it's really not, is it?
No, I mean, right. So there's a lot of people that don't, though, do much manufactured spend, buying gift cards and liquidating them. A lot of people,
right?
And so for them, especially if they're seeking Hyatt elite status, spending the 15,000 on the card gets you good value, because you're not just getting those 6 elite nights and the 15,000 points. As you said, you're also getting that free night certificate. So there's sort of a carrot at the end of that spend beyond, the regular value. After, it's more like, so it's more like after 15,000, it's like a negative no-brainer. Like it's a brainer, not a no-brainer.
or really less than 15,000, right? I mean, it's because it'd be
right whether you spend anything on it below. Yeah.
It's really like an only $15,000 card, right? I mean, you could spend 5,000 for the 2 elite nights, I guess, but
where we might have talked about it as a no-brainer is if you signed up new. The welcome bonus is currently structured such that you have to spend 15,000 to maximize it, and then plus you're also getting those other things we talked about. So in that context, it probably is a no-brainer. But
so in the average year, though, is it? I mean,
an average year? No, I don't think it's a no-brainer. I think that the card is worth keeping without any spend at all, because the annual free night certificate you get without any spend is worth more than the annual fee, and as long as you use it every year, you're going to get decent value from your card. So I think whether or not you're spending a lot on the card, 15,000 or more, depends on a lot of factors.
Right.
Not a no-brainer.
Right. And it's worth mentioning, I think, too, that one of the examples that JW gave here was that you could use those points earned from your Staples shenanigans for category 1 nights and end up with more elite nights. And that may be true if you have a category 1 where you can check in, because we know that sometimes I know probably there's some people that have found ways to do it remotely, but for the most part you have to check in person at the hotel, so you got to have a category 1 near you. So there's some additional inconvenience there, where you got to be there and it's got to fit into your schedule, and you got to not get checked out early, and there are some headaches there in terms of making that happen. So I can certainly see the appeal for somebody who's like, well, I can't quite make it to 60 nights, but I want the 60 night Hyatt benefits, I want global globalist status. And so I can put 15K spend on this card, get a valuable free night certificate, some decent points, and
see that's me. So I'm like, oh, I could pay 2% to pay my taxes and just knock this all off all at once, whatever,
Right.
I'm lazy. I'd much rather do that than run out to the store back and forth and worry about liquidating the gift cards and then, all the things that can go wrong along the way with that process. I don't like doing all that. So if I'm getting better value than, the fee, if I've calculated that out and said, I'm going to pay a fee to generate that much spend, but it's worth it because I'm getting the points, I'm getting the elite nights, I'm getting the free night certificate, I'm happy to go that route.
Yeah, I can hear you there. I do some of that shenanigans that you're talking about there, JW.
Mm-hmm.
But to me though, so here's the way I look at it, which is slightly different. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna not do that stuff. I'm gonna do that. But I'm also gonna spend the 15K probably on the Hyatt card. And the reason there is because like my legit spend will go on something like the Hyatt card or other kinds of MS that aren't at Staples will go on the Hyatt card in order to hit the spend on that. So it's not one or the other. I mean, I'm in the both category. So
there you go.
There you go. That's it. That's all I got to say about that.
Right.
That was our question of the week. So then,
all right.
I think that brings us to the end.
The end. That's very sad.
The end is near. So thank you guys very much for being there with us or being here with us today. We always appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you've been hearing about today and you would like to get our posts in your email inbox, you want to go to frequentmiler.com/subscribe. Again, that's frequentmiler.com/subscribe. Join our email list. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram. Join our Frequent Miler Insiders Facebook group. Wherever you're listening or watching or whatever this show, make sure that you turn on notifications and you subscribe and like it and leave us a comment and all of those things that help the algorithm out so other people can discover this fine show as well.
Or just tell your friends.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.